This is a recording on using the subcontractor functionality of the project system. You'll notice we have a little quote here with some Edwards product and some labor. And now I want to bring in a subcontractor to do some work for me. And I do this by putting a part number. In my case, it's Dove Subcontractor F2 like so. Now, the quantity is the cost from the vendor. So let's say it's $5,000. $5,000 is the quote they gave you. So that's going to be our cost. And this is going to be wire pulling on our project fire safety systems. Now the cost of that labor is $1. So the cost in this project will be $5,000. 5,000 times $1. And here we can mark it up 1.25, like so. 25% up. And you see it gave us a selling price of that figure there, $6,250. Now, when we go to print out a proposal on this particular project, print and then proposal view, and we can show part numbers or not show part numbers. We can do lump sum or not lump sum, whichever we want to do. But we have our little quote. To the customer, all they see is wire pulling, $6,000. The cost is hidden on purpose. Okay, this effectively looks like a C line, C, installation, training, and the price. Okay. Now, when the job is accepted, we can create a purchase order for this. And we'll have to set fixed price, because that's part of the normal functionality. And then we can order this part, F5. And you notice we don't have a default supplier. We have to choose a supplier. So we're going to do ACE do F5. And now we're creating a purchase order for drop ship. You could say yes, could be the customer site. Okay, we'll do a 1, for example. And so this is going to be a purchase order to our vendor, like so. And when we come out of this, and it changes the status to waiting parts. And when we have a purchase order, if we issue our purchase order to our vendor, and there we have pull wire, $5,000. So the system knows that what the cost is, and so forth. Now, so later on in time, the cool thing about this is your vendor can send you invoices along the way by going to Receive PO. And you see we have $5,000, and let's say they want to send you a $1,000 invoice. You can do a partial here for $1,000, like so. Process line by line. And it sends out a notification to the manager that this has happened, project manager. And if we go back and look at our project, we have this was a dropship PO, so the labor's been applied as to be billed already. And we have a back order, $4,000. You notice down here, we have our subcontractor cost right there, and what it's selling for, And you see we've incurred a cost of $1,000 against this project. Of course, there'd be other costs for the other materials, but it's actually showing up as a job cost report. So now we could look over here on our job cost report, WIP, special, and we'll do this report here. So you see we have an estimated or cost of that labor, 1,000, and we've incurred actual cost of $1,000. So there's your estimated cost for your subcontractor broken out specifically and the cost received to date. Now, the other side of this is billing, okay? When we want to do a bill for this, we can use progress billing to bill this out. So we're going to bill out, so we incurred $1,000, we're going to go ahead and bill out, $2,000 of labor. So we do a part, progress billing, yes. And we say, in my case, Dove deposit. And we say, progress billing per contract. And let's say we want to bill $2,000. We do it just like so. We don't incur a cost here because that would incur another cost to the project, which we've already incurred from the subcontractor. But this way we can bill out $2,000, and this is going to be a progress bill. So it doesn't affect the selling price of the job. It just lets us create a $2,000 invoice. And we would just complete this invoice like so. Now, because we did progress billing, this question is asked, do we want to change allocated parts to invoiced? The answer is no, because we haven't done anything else in this project. But if you were at the end of the project, then you would want to say yes and get rid of all that allocated hardware. During the middle of the project, you probably most likely would say no. Now, similarly, we can create another invoice later on in time for the balance of the labor, and we can go ahead and create all our products, invoice all our products out, and we can invoice the balance of this labor as well. Like so, P, progress billing again, Dove deposit, and we will just simply do the figure we want, which is going to be 4,025, 250, like so. Okay. Again, progress billing, we're not changing the value of the project. Now, later on in time, one thing you should know is that this deposit could have gone to a different revenue code than the project system's revenue code. And so you may want to credit those deposits out. So what you can do is create a reverse, a credit for these progress billing lines. When you're billing the rest of the project, which might be taxable or might not be taxable, you can credit the balance of these by doing a negative deposit for the $62,550. And that way, when you bill this labor line, or whichever one you want to bill, it'll go to the right revenue code. So you would credit the prior deposits, would be a method to get that revenue from an asset over there on the asset table over to income table. And it would just simply be the exact same thing here, but you would reverse it. So P, Dove, deposit, and you would do a minus 6250 to credit from the deposit account, and then you would bill your labor line or whatever you want to do as far as and bill your labor line out. Okay. And that is processing a subcontractor line and then purchasing against it.